What year did you leave college?
I left here in '93. I left school in '88.
But you were right in the middle of all that 20 years. Was there not a generation out there that grew up with 5 times the confidence that certainly ours and mine did, and even yours? You got yourself beaten around at school, no problem, you know. Like, and I'm sure most of them didn't, because that hasn't been going on for, I don't know, whatever.
Well, I hope that's changing. I hope so. I think so. But why is there so much drug addiction? Why is there so much violence? Why is there so much drink? It's just seems sort of, you know, unfortunately for such a small country.
Is there so much dram stock as there used to be? The dram stock thing obviously is a great springboard, but more than that, it was a really brilliant thing for somebody like yourself. Is that still as alive as it was? I don't know why I'm asking people who aren't here anymore. But is that still happening, dram stock, yeah? Like big time?
Yeah, the posters are still...
Yeah, but as in like...
12 Angry Men is on.
Yeah, as in a great springboard, yeah?
Well, of course it is. Anything like that is a great springboard. Yeah. Anything like that, yeah. It's a fantastic resource. But also a film society or anything like that is brilliant. College is brilliant for young people.
I was in the film society here for 5 years. The projector always broke down in Theatre L.
Yeah.
Always that way. I was on a Monday night. Anybody got any more questions? Anybody want to ask Conor a question? There's one there, yeah. Jim Norton, I'll answer that.
Yeah.
He's done lots.
I've worked with Jim Norton. And we've done about 6 plays together. Jim is just a tremendous theatre animal. Yeah. And he just has a great voice, just a real hard worker, and just what I call a very clean actor, in that he can, what he's trying to express is very, very clear. It's not complicated, it's just there. And I love working with Jim. There's lots of great actors I've worked with. I did a couple of things on film, not in the theatre, but with Michael Gambon. He is an extraordinary actor. I've done a few things now with Ciarán Hinds, who's a beautiful actor, and I'm working at the moment with Sinead Cusack, and she is out of this world. She's one of the best that I've ever worked with. And those people are quite rare, you know, like they're a good theatre actor. It's very hard because sometimes I've worked with people who've done, say, they haven't done a play for maybe 12 years and they decide they're going to do a play again, and, you know, they go through the rehearsals, they love that. This is great, when I'm doing movies, we never get to rehearse. This is fantastic, I love this. Then as we move into the theatre, they're like, oh my God, the theatre's quite big. It's kind of, people going to hear me? And you go, well, you got to speak quite loudly, you know, and then they go, but, and I tell them, you got to face out more. You know, I can't, no, I'm supposed to be talking to him. I say, no, that looks very weird. The more you face out like this, even though I'm supposed to be on stage talking to Dave, it actually is more natural for me to be kind of coming out a bit more. They find that weird and bizarre, so then they get through, and then they build themselves up and they do like the first preview and they're sweating buckets and they're like, oh my God. Then they realize, I have to do this for months. But good theatre actors, they just want to hit that stage. They have that mad drive to go and perform in front of people. I don't know what it is, it's weird, but they have it, and thank God for me they have it. But
do you ever find that when you're writing, you're thinking of an actor, you know, as you're writing your characters and developing them?
No, they tend to be sort of like ghostly figures that I sort of just see as the character somehow. And then the casting part becomes a sort of a whole other thing. Yeah.
Anybody else got a question?
Oh, as people? Yeah, the people themselves?
Yeah, as an internalised philosophy student, were you not intimidated at all?
No, I mean, I find anybody like that very interesting, because the thing is, it allows you to be quiet when you're in very loud company. So, you know, I wouldn't try to compete with that or feel like, oh, I'm not getting a word in. It's interesting to sit with people who are good storytellers and just let them go, you know. So no, I like that, and we need that energy. We need their crazy energy.
You mentioned Sinead Cusack there. Is she doing the Tippi Hedren role or something? Is she playing on stage?
Well, there's no Tippi Hedren role. It's
it's Daphne du Maurier's original. Sorry, it's nothing to do with Hitchcock.
It's nothing to do with Hitchcock.
I fell into that.
It's nothing to do with Hitchcock at all. So no, but she's playing an older character, obviously, but she's. Her and Ciarán Hinds play these two people who don't know each other, who are sort of holed up in a house in the countryside in an apocalyptic situation where the birds are killing everybody, and they have to sort of learn to survive and get on. And then after a few weeks of them managing to sort of live as two people and get on, a young girl arrives who then sort of completely upsets the balance between them, and it's what transpires after that.
After Dublin, do you take that abroad?
Well, we'll see. I mean, hopefully, if it goes well, it'll be seen. There's people, I think, want to put it on in other places, but, you know, we'll see.
But like the Conor McPherson doors that have been opened already in terms of New York and London, that all helps, or does it?
Yeah, I mean, it would be that you have relationships with people you've worked with that have gone well, that, yeah, they would want to see your play, and maybe with a view to putting it on. I mean, it's, I don't know, it's always a mad journey. It's always a mad, crazy journey. Each one is as nuts as the last in a different way, and you can never predict where it's going to go.
And does finance come into it when it comes to the movie, like the Eclipse? For instance, if it costs $2 million or whatever, do you have to make a certain amount back? Does it matter? The investment isn't your money as such?
When it's $2 million, you feel very free, because it's not like it's like $30 million that someone spent. It's, you know, we'll make $2 million back. It might take us years, but yeah, I don't feel under tremendous pressure or anything like that, no.
And what about big screen then again? Will you do it again?
I'd just be very careful. Films take, in my experience, about 4 or 5 years to make each one, and so it's a big commitment. So I'm just always very careful with films. Plays, the thing is, you can write a play and a few months later you can put it on. It doesn't cost a huge amount. So there's a wonderful freedom in the theatre, and I love the theatre. I love the magic of the theatre and the strange illusion of the theatre. I love all that. I love films too. But, you know, I probably will always do both, I think.
Right. Anybody else got a question? Yep.
Hi, Conor.
Hi, Melissa.
Can you tell us the differences and the challenges that you faced using somebody else's source material? If you're going to direct the birds, how have you found doing that from using your own material?
Well, really, I just took the idea that the birds are attacking people. That's as much, really, as I took. And then...
It's Conor McPherson's The Birds.
Well, when I was a kid, I always used to love films like Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. I always loved apocalyptic zombie films. I always thought, this is brilliant. So for me, sort of the end of the world is such an interesting place to put characters, you know. I suppose a lot of Beckett's plays seem to be sort of at the end of the world, this sort of post-apocalyptic situation, and it pares everything down to the bone. And it's people sort of at their most animalistic, I suppose, and at their most human, ironically, because of that. So it's all of that I love, and you know, so that's what it is really. I wouldn't be able to sort of adapt someone else's work in a beautiful way. I sort of would tend to butcher it and make it, you know, a bastardized version of something I am doing.
Because that animal-human thing you mentioned before, like that, you know, we're basically 90% animal. And the human thing, the 10%, you call it a veneer. And make of it what you will.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what differentiates us from animals, like that we know that we're alive, and we know that we'll die, and we can talk. But that's it. You know, really, I wonder, you know, I suppose this is not a new idea, but, you know, I would often think about, well, how much of our actual decisions do we make?
Yeah.
And how much do we actually, it's just being made by our animal brain anyway, and then we sort of justify it with language and go, well, that was my choice. But very often, are they really choices, you know? So I suppose it is a philosophical question, but it's primarily a very dramatic one as well, you know, because people who ultimately perhaps aren't completely in control of their life, it's a, you know, to me, an interesting question.
But just one thing that I want to say lastly, which is, unless somebody else wants a question as well, which is 3 of the reviews said you were great, or said you were a great playwright. One of them says you're the best dramatist. Do you see a distinction between the two, and would you like that dramatist one more?
Playwright. Playwright sounds very much almost like you build something, like a shipwright, right, which is a nice thing. Dramatist. No, I don't like that so much. I don't know.
All right, fair enough. 3 to 1, you're in favour. Anybody else got? Yeah, here's a question here.
Let's ask you about, you know that you were saying you're really interested in music. That's where it started.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that you produce something in music? Would you ever do a drama with music in it, or a musical?
Perhaps. Myself and my wife play music at home, and we did the soundtrack for the Eclipse, and Fanula did. She's here. She did lovely work for it, and we had quite a lot of choral music on it, which was lovely to do. And Fanula is always saying, you know, we should do a musical, and you know, maybe we will, I don't know. Then people say he's really sold out.